What if the most alien-looking creatures you could imagine weren't in outer space, but right here on Earth? Deep beneath the waves, in the crushing dark where sunlight has never reached, live animals so bizarre they seem to defy reality. This isn't science fiction. It's a real world of living nightmares and biological miracles that will make you rethink what's possible for life on this planet. We're not talking about just sharks and whales. We're talking about creatures that hunt with Velcro, animals that are actually colonies of thousands working a sewn, and sharks that look more like carpets than predators. Join us on a journey into the abyss to meet the most mind-blowing sea creatures, all of whom have developed unbelievable tactics to survive in the most hostile environment on Earth. Your view of the ocean is about to change forever. Section 1. The Christmas Tree Worm. Let's start in the vibrant, sunlit world of the coral reef. You might spot what looks like a pair of tiny decorated Christmas trees sprouting from the coral. But get a little too close and poof, they vanish in the blink of an eye. That's no plant, it's the Christmas tree worm. These strange animals have two brightly colored spiral plumes that look just like festive trees. These plumes, which come in a dazzling array of blues, oranges, and yellows, aren't just for show. They're the worm's incredibly complex breathing and feeding tools. Each spiral is made of feather-like tentacles that catch microscopic plants and animals floating by in the water. These same branches also act as gills, pulling oxygen from the water. The worm itself lives tucked away in a tube it bores into live coral. The moment it senses a shadow or a change in pressure, it can retract its beautiful crowns with lightning speed, sealing itself safely inside its coral bunker. It's a brilliant combination of beauty and paranoia, a living ornament that has perfected the art of the disappearing act. Section 2. The Wobbegong Shark. When you picture a shark, you probably think of a sleek gray torpedo of muscle. Okay, now erase that image. Down on the seafloor of the Pacific and Indian Oceans, there's a creature that looks like a shaggy, patterned carpet someone just left behind. This is the wobbegong, or carpet shark. Its body is flat and wide, covered in a complex, mottled pattern that gives it nearly perfect camouflage against the rocky reefs and sandy bottoms it calls home. Its entire survival strategy is built on not being seen. But the disguise doesn't stop there. Fringing its mouth are branching lobes that look like seaweed, breaking up its outline and completing the illusion. The wobbegong is a master ambush predator. It lies motionless for hours, a living booby trap waiting for an unsuspecting fish or crab to wander too close. When prey is finally in range, its reaction is explosive. With powerful jaws that can dislocate and a massive suction force, it inhales its victim in a fraction of a second. This is a hunter that doesn't need speed, just unshakable patience and the ultimate disguise. Section 3. The Anglerfish. Now we descend into the true abyss, the pitch-black midnight zone thousands of feet down. In a world without light, one creature has learned to make its own. This is the realm of the anglerfish. It's truly the stuff of nightmares, a grotesque, globular body, a cavernous mouth full of sharp, transparent teeth, and a face only a mother could love. But its most famous feature is the one that gives it its name. From the female's head dangles a fleshy, fishing rod-like appendage with a glowing lure at its tip. This lure isn't just a light, it's a living trap powered by bioluminescent bacteria. In the absolute darkness of the deep sea, this single point of light is irresistible to smaller fish and crustaceans. They swim in for a closer look, mesmerized by the glow, and in that instant, the anglerfish's massive jaws snap shut. It's a perfect hunting system in a place where meals are few and far between. Finding a mate in this vast darkness is another challenge, solved in an even more bizarre way. The tiny male finds a female, bites her, and physically fuses with her body for the rest of his life. Section 4. The Gulper Eel. As we continue through the deep, we find a creature that appears to be almost entirely mouth. Meet the gulper eel, also known as the pelican eel. And no, it's not a true eel, but it is one of the strangest looking fish in the ocean. It has a long whip-like body, but its defining feature is its enormous loosely hinged jaw. Its head makes up nearly a quarter of its body length, and it can open its mouth wide enough to swallow prey much larger than itself. When it does, its lower jaw inflates like a pelican's pouch, allowing it to scoop up almost anything in its path. This adaptation is critical for survival in the deep sea, where you can't afford to be a picky eater. Its tiny teeth mean it's not built for tearing apart large fish, but its giant mouth simply maximizes the chance of catching something. The gulper eel has another trick too. The tip of its long tail has an organ that glows with a pink or red light, which it can flash to lure in curious victims. It's a living swimming net, a bizarre combination of a fishing lure and a trawler, perfectly designed for a life of opportunity in the endless dark. Section 5. The harp sponge. If you think of a sponge as a simple passive filter feeder, think again. Deep off the coast of California, around 11,000 feet down, scientists found something that shattered that idea: the harp sponge. Looking more like an elegant candelabra than an animal, this is no gentle giant. The harp sponge is carnivorous. Its beautiful, branching structure is actually a sophisticated death trap. The entire surface of its strings is covered in tiny Velcro-like hooks. This sponge doesn't filter water, it snags its food. Small crustaceans swept into its branches by deep-sea currents are instantly caught on these hooks. Once a victim is trapped, the sponge slowly envelops it in a thin membrane and begins to digest it externally. This carnivorous strategy is an incredible adaptation to a food-poor environment. It's far more energy efficient than constantly filtering water. The sponge's harp-like design is all about maximizing its surface area, turning it into a highly effective net for catching a meal in the desolate abyss. Section 6. The vampire squid. Its scientific name, Vampiroteuthis infernalis, literally means vampire squid from hell. And with a black cloak-like webbing between its arms and glowing red eyes, it definitely looks the part. But the vampire squid is a master of deception. It's not a bloodsucker. In fact, it isn't even a true squid. It's a living fossil, and the last survivor of its own unique order, with a survival strategy that's completely unexpected. The vampire squid lives where almost nothing else can: the oxygen minimum zone, a deep water habitat where oxygen levels are too low for most complex animals. There are few predators here, but there's also very little prey. So what does it eat? It eats marine snow, a mix of dead organic matter and other detritus that drifts down from the ocean above. It uses two long retractable filaments to capture this falling debris. When threatened, it doesn't release ink. Instead, it pulls its webbed arms up and over its body, turning itself inside out to reveal rows of fleshy spines. It's a master of conserving energy, thriving where others would suffocate by surviving as a deep-sea scavenger, not a terrifying predator. Section 7. The dumbo octopus. From the terrifying to the undeniably cute, our next creature is the dumbo octopus. It's named for the prominent, ear-like fins that flap gracefully from the sides of its head, making it look like a character straight out of a Disney movie. But don't let its charming appearance fool you. This animal is a resident of the extreme deep. Dumbo octopuses are the deepest living of all known octopuses, found at depths of up to 23,000 feet. The pressure there is immense, the water is freezing, and sunlight is non-existent. Living in such a vast, dark world has led to some unique adaptations. Unlike most octopuses, the dumbo doesn't have an ink sac. In a world with few predators and nowhere to hide, it just isn't necessary. It moves not by jet propulsion, but by peacefully flapping its large fins and using its arms to steer. It hovers over the seafloor, pouncing on small crustaceans and worms that it swallows whole. The dumbo octopus is proof that even in one of the most hostile environments on Earth, life can be surprisingly gentle and enchanting. Section 8. The giant siphonophore. Is it one animal or thousands? The answer is both. Meet the giant siphonophore, one of the longest animals in the world. Reaching lengths of over 130 feet, longer than a blue whale, this creature isn't a single organism. It's a massive floating colony made of thousands of individual specialized organisms called zooids, all cloned from a single original and fused together to act as one. Each group of zooids has a specific job. Some form the swimming bells at the front, which pulse together to move the colony through the water. Others are specialized for feeding, dangling long, stinging tentacles that form a deadly curtain to capture fish and crustaceans. Still other zooids handle digestion or reproduction. The whole colony is connected by a long stem that transports nutrients to every single part. The giant siphonophore often glows with a brilliant blue light, likely used to attract prey into its web of stinging cells. It's the ultimate superorganism, challenging our very definition of what an individual animal can be. Section 9. The bloody belly comb jelly in the deep ocean being visible can get you killed. Many creatures use bioluminescence to startle predators or find mates, but the bloody belly comb jelly has a different approach. It uses color to become invisible. This stunning creature has a deep red stomach, which gives it its name. At first glance, bright red seems like a terrible idea for camouflage. But in the deep sea, it's a stroke of genius. Red light is the first color to be filtered out by water, so it never reaches these depths. In an environment with no red light, a red object reflects nothing, making it functionally black. This brilliant adaptation allows the comb jelly to eat glowing prey without the victim's light shining through its transparent body and giving away its location to bigger predators. That blood-red belly acts like a blackout curtain. It moves through the water using rows of tiny, hair-like cilia, which refract light and create shimmering, rainbow-like displays. It's a living jewel with a dark secret. Section 10. The black swallower. Our final creature really proves the saying, "Your eyes are bigger than your stomach." Only for this fish, it can be a fatal reality. The black swallower is a small, slender fish, usually no more than 10 inches long. But it's famous for its unbelievable ability to swallow prey much, much larger than itself. We're talking about fish twice its length and 10 times its mass. How on earth does it do it? The black swallower has an enormous, loosely hinged jaw and an incredibly expandable stomach that can stretch until it's almost transparent. It's thought to grab its prey by the tail, then walk its interlocking teeth over the victim's body until the entire meal is coiled up in its gut. This ability is a huge advantage in the deep sea, where you have to take any meal you can get, no matter the size. But there's a serious risk. If the meal is too big, it can start to decompose before it's digested. The gases released by decomposition can inflate the swallower's stomach like a balloon, causing it to float uncontrollably to the surface, a fatal one-way trip that has led to its discovery. From living Christmas trees to sharks that pretend they're carpets, the ocean is filled with creatures that rewrite the rules of life. Each one is a marvel of evolution, perfectly adapted to its own bizarre corner of the marine world. Which of these deep-sea marvels blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to keep exploring the strange and mysterious corners of our planet, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown. The creatures we've met today are just a tiny fraction of what lives in the vast, unexplored wilderness of our oceans. More of our planet is covered by water than land, yet we still know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the sea floor. Down there, in the cold and the dark, are millions more secrets waiting to be discovered. More animals that will challenge our understanding and redefine what we believe is possible. The ocean isn't just a body of water, it's another world, teeming with life beyond our wildest imagination.